Hey everybody, welcome back to Cedar Creek. My name is Josie, and so glad that y'all are here spending a little bit of time with me today. I have been out of pocket. I shared with you on the last video that I had been called to the courthouse, a jury summons, and wasn't really sure if I was going to be selected, but I was. And I had to serve on the jury. Meeting from early in the morning till late in the afternoon. And by the time I drove home back here to Gore, I just didn't have time. I was getting home, and the evening time when supper was, being prepared, and everybody was trying to eat, and it just didn't happen. So I would ask that you forgive me for that. It was something that I couldn't help. And it was very interesting, to say the least. And today's video doesn't have anything to do with courts, other than just me to tell you where I've been. And I plan on talking to you on tomorrow's video about my experience and some of my thoughts on the whole thing, and try to encourage your hearts just a little bit. But today I wanted to talk to you about something, and you can tell by the title that something has transpired, and something that is very raw. Blade and Cheyenne have made a decision for their family, and they have moved, not to another house, not to another city here in Oklahoma. They have moved to Louisiana. And I wasn't going to say anything at first, because I felt like, not that I was going to try to hide the fact that they were moving, but I was going to try to just be quiet about them being gone, because of the insecurity of being here by myself and letting so many people know that I was by myself. But it has gotten out on Cheyenne's social media, and she shared it, that they moved, and different ones are asking people that that are also followers of this channel. So I didn't want to say or do anything that would cause people to, one, be confused about whether they really moved or not, and two, thinking that I was being less than upfront and honest. And so I do want to share that they decided to go. And there's been some questions come up. And one of the questions, well, there had to have been something that happened. And there wasn't anything that happened. There wasn't a big argument or anything like that that caused them to go. Blade and Cheyenne both have been raised in small towns, went to small schools. Blade here in Gore, and Cheyenne grew up and went to school in Gans, Oklahoma, another really small town close to the border with Arkansas. And so they don't have really a lot of life experiences outside of small town. Now, Blade did work for about a month in New Jersey, and she was pregnant with Howie, and she went to be with him, and they came back home, and I was so thankful for that. So the entire time that I have been alive on this earth, which is 54 years, I've never been by myself, except for those few short weeks that the kids were in New Jersey with his job. I've never really been alone. I went from my parents to living with my grandparents for a few years before Howie and I got married when I was 23. And we were married when he passed away when I was 50. And the kids have been here, and the grandkids have been here, and they filled such a void. And so this is a new experience for me. It hasn't been pleasant. It's just been a few days. They left at midnight. So I guess it was really and truly, it was early Saturday morning, March the 1st, right after midnight, the U-Haul pulled out and the other vehicle hurt their personal vehicle. And Meemaw fell apart and a feeling of loss. And I guess it's the empty nest thing, that a lot of people go through when their children leave home and go off to school or get married and go to their own places. And I've been so blessed and so fortunate that Blade and Shine have been here with the children. And I've been through the whole thing, the pregnancies, the having the babies, the recovery afterwards, the sicknesses, all the things up close and personal because they were here in this home. And so it is left a big hole. And he texted me and said, we made it. And I texted back and said, good, come home. And I always want to make sure that I leave the door open. Not really, but you know what I mean. That I leave the door open for them coming home, knowing that they know that they're welcomed home at any time. Blade transferred with his job, and they made some decisions with that. And they've rented a place down there in Louisiana. They're close to my sister and her family, and I'm praying for them, and I want them to enjoy themselves, but I want them to come home. And it sounds selfish, I know. And I know some of you are going to say, you got to let your kids go. I know that too. Some have said, well, what's that going to mean for your channel? And what it means is I'm going to continue on with cooking and teaching and trying to show you budget meals and how to make your the food stretch, because really and truly in the United States, things haven't changed. Has things changed personally in my family? Yes, hopefully temporarily. Me probably hoping it's temporary more so than what the kids are. But we're still in a place in the United States that we need to help one another. One of those things is trying to encourage one another and how to really make things stretch as far as they can. And that's one thing that I can say is that Howie and I felt really strongly when we moved back to Oklahoma and we bought the family farm. We wanted this to be a place that we could, number one, he that was his dream always to be back here on the farm and to have cows and to have all the things that we've had here. And since he's passed away, there have been I've had to downsize quite a bit on different things, not the land, but other things that until I can get a foothold my own self, there's just some things that's not feasible for me right now. And so my channel, as far as content, I'm going to still be teaching cooking and budget meals, and making your finances stretch the best that we possibly can, and how to be frugal, I'm still going to be canning. If the kids don't come home quickly, then when they come home to visit and I can't talk them into staying, there are things that they'll be able to take back with them and enjoy some home cooked things, some home canned things. And so I don't plan on changing that. I hope that you stay with me and that you will enjoy the process, canning different things, not only to fill my pantry and to possibly help my kids with their pantry, but also that's a business for me, growing and canning fruits and vegetables and pickles and jellies and that kind of stuff. I'm going to be trying to add some sewing projects and doing some different things like that. And I still have that idea for that cookbook is sitting right up here. And I've started working on the different recipes that I want to put in there. Some of them will be simple recipes and maybe even some of my stories. I'm looking into different ways of being able to make the cookbook as cost effective as possible for me, and something that if you were interested in it, it would be something that was a quality product and something that you would enjoy having. And so I'm looking at all different ways for the farm to make revenue so that I can be self-sufficient and that I can stand on my own 2 feet. And I will tell you where I'm standing, where I'm looking right now, it is scary because you don't have those crutches. And so I am going to think of myself like Moses when he came to the areas that he needed help and the Lord showed up for him. He had those persons that would hold up his hands when they were in battle or when different things needed to happen. And his hands, they held his hands as his hands got tired, and those others held his hands and helped him to hold on. I know that I have people that are friends of mine on here that will encourage and that will help me to not lose my grip on what I need to do. And I have a good church family that support, and I'm just gonna plod right along. Now, there are things I've told you before, there's so many things that I don't know how to do, that the whole time that I'm hoping that I can bring things to you and teach things to you and kind of sort of be like an home economics teacher. I will be learning too. And I may be watching some of your videos or videos that you recommend of things that I need to know how to do, that I really don't know how to do yet. And relied a lot on Blade and his muscle. I'm not as strong as I used to be. And that's another thing that I plan on doing, is working on getting me where I need to be with my health. And I will tell you that I've had I don't know, I think it was a panic attack. I don't know. I've never had one before. But I was so worked up about all of this stuff that this episode happened, and I had to remind myself. I had to shake myself. And sometimes we have to do that and shake ourselves, and so that we bring ourselves out of that state that we're in. I was beside myself. And so I know that I need to care for myself. And I know that being worked up and being just inconsolable is not healthy. And we've all went through it. I'm trying to learn to like the silence. On Sunday mornings, I love it. Sunday mornings are my very favorite time of the year. Sunday mornings is my very favorite time of the week. I'm usually spending that time finishing up studying for my Sunday school class that I teach. And we have a radio station here that plays gospel music on Sunday mornings. And I like to turn it on low. I don't like it blaring. I like it low. And I usually have my coffee. That's an everyday thing, really. But I have my coffee and I study. And I really enjoy that so much. But I don't know about every day. I have a couple of little doggies, but they're outside dogs. They don't want to be in the house. So I'm trying to figure out life on my own. And there will be some scary times, but I think that there will be a lot of not so scary times. And like I said, I hope that you stick with me and that we can encourage one another. I know that I've had a lot of response from widows. And in fact, there was a little widow on the jury that I served on. She was a lot younger than me. And I think her husband, he had passed away this last August. And I think she told me he was 36. And she just cried. And I did my best not to, because I knew that if I got started, it would be bad. So I listened to her and encouraged her. And I told her that if there was one thing that I could say, is to make sure that you have something that you can fall back on, because we never imagine that something could happen and that we could be all alone. And if, depending on where we are in our stage of life, you know, sometimes we start out young and we find ourselves alone, and we feel pretty confident about rebuilding. Sometimes when you're older, you find yourself in that position, but really the debt and the things that have occurred over the years, you've kind of got that settled, and so you don't necessarily maybe have that to deal with. Other times it's people like me that are still actively trying to get things, you know, moved around and taken care of. And it's a little bit scary. And all all of the different persons that I just mentioned, the young, the older, the middle age, we all grieve. We all miss our spouses or our significant others. But we all deal with it in different ways. And I've had some of you that have been such beautiful counselors for me, such encouraging people. They said, look at it, your loss, as being, you were blessed to be his wife. And I do that. I was blessed. And I am blessed to be Blade's mama and Cheyenne's mama-in-law. Now, she may not think that, but I feel blessed. And those grandbabies are my heart. And so there's been a change. And hopefully the only thing that you all notice is that it's quieter. There's not little hands reaching up, shaking the camera, or, you know, I've had some of you say, oh, I couldn't can with the babies around. I'd be so nervous. You don't have to worry about that for a while. Hopefully not a long while, but still. Those may be the only changes that you see, because I still need to cook. I still need to put food by. I still have church that I'm involved in, and we have dinners and we have social events and stuff. So I have all of that. So I really don't see anything changing, other than you might hear occasionally that I've got a product or a book or something that I'm going to try to release. So I'm putting this out there to let you know there's been a change, and I'm dealing with it. I cannot say totally 100% bravely, because as soon as I turn the camera off, the tears might start. But I know that this is a growing time, and I don't begrudge the kids. I hate it, but I don't begrudge them, because I know that they wanted to get out and they wanted to see some things. And so I hope they hurry up and see it and come back home. But they know that I love them, and they know that they're always welcome. And so with that, I'm going to get in there and do some of the things that need to be done. So I will be back tomorrow. comments, and I like getting your cards and your letters. I appreciate those, and I try to write back. I still owe Miss Lisa a letter, and I try to write back, and I've really enjoyed